Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Diablo Immortal. And I know that probably a lot of you guys are going to be sick of this particular subject by now, but the fact of the matter is my previous Diablo Immortal video was pretty much recorded immediately after the BlizzCon opening ceremony. I mean, the minute that they did that last announcement that they were working on a mobile Diablo game, I didn't even really feel like playing Diablo 3 anymore because that was my plan for that stream. So I pretty much I played for a minute because I told people that I was going to play it for the people that were curious about what it looked like on the Switch. And then I just ended the stream and I just hit record and I went and talked about how I felt about the whole thing. However, since then, I've been made aware of a bunch of more informations that have really made me look at this with an even greater disgust, if that is possible, because it's just, I almost feel like we're witnessing a changing of the guard in gaming in general. And the worst part is not the change, because change always comes, change always happens. The worst part is that we are witnessing a change for the worse. We're witnessing a change that will effectively be bringing us a worse game. And if you guys don't believe me, because I know that there were some comments in the other video of a couple of people that were like, nah, dude, you're just crazy. It's amazing. It's going to be on mobile. It's going to be real good and all these other things. And that's fine if you think like that. That is fine. But if you really believe that to be the case, I would encourage you to look up footage of the Q&A that took place after the Diablo Immortal panel. Look up footage of that Q&A. And I'm not talking about the meme questions that we've witnessed where Lord Fluffy came up and he asked whether it was going to be on PC. Blizzard said no, and the whole crowd booed, which I think that might actually be a first at a BlizzCon for Blizzard to be booed on their own stage. I don't think we've witnessed that before, but those aren't even the things I'm talking about. Or the dude that everybody's been sharing his video where he goes and he asks if it's an off-season April's Fool's joke. And you guys might be wondering, why am I not showing those videos? Because that stuff is part of the premium Blizzard ticket, and I really don't want to use it because I'm scared. And I know it's like I've seen plenty of people using that footage, but like, look, dude, I've had a long run on YouTube, and I would rather not have it end over using footage like that. So I'm not going to be using it. You guys can find all that stuff, but I would encourage you to look up the Q&A panel, but the reasoning is not for the meme questions. The reason is for every other question that was asked on that panel. I want you to pay close attention to the reactions of the developers that are on stage. They literally offered almost no response to any of the questions that were being asked. Like someone was asking, are druids going to be in the game? They're like, you have my vote, whatever that's worth. I don't know what that means. People were asking, are we going to be seeing other factions beyond the demon hunters in terms of story and lore and aspects? And they're like, Diablo is a big timeline. Someone asked how much resources have been put into this game that were taken away from other Diablo projects. And the answer, I kid you not, the actual answer to that question was, we've been working with NetEase for 10 years. That was their answer. Like, I was blown away. I was looking at this Q&A, and you guys can look it up on YouTube. Just look up Diablo Immortal Q&A. I'm sure you'll find the video because people are constantly re-uploading it. Blizzard is working real hard to take that shit down, I'm pretty sure. But just look that up and look at that Q&A. There is absolutely no soul. There are no questions actually being answered. I don't even know why there's a Q&A there. There's a rumor now that Blizzard was also using paid actors in those questions, which I was like, I don't even know if that's what they're doing or not. I don't even want to get into that particular discussion. I just want to get into palpable facts, and the palpable facts are that 99% of the questions that were asked at that panel were either dodged, deflected, or simply not answered. The one thing that was commonly stated throughout the entire thing was how excited they were about the game. And it saddened me. Like, it really saddens me because I can read people's expressions. Like, I know when someone's excited and when someone is not. I can tell. You just look at their faces and you can see when someone is genuinely excited, someone genuinely believes a project that they're working on, and these guys were not. Like, Wyatt Chang even panicked on stage pretty much during the opening presentation. Like, look, I don't want anyone to go harass these developers. I don't want that. Because I already know that the way the internet is, they've probably received a bunch of death threats by now. And that just pretty much makes us all look like a bunch of idiots, to be honest. So you really shouldn't do that. I wish nothing but the best for these guys, okay? But ultimately, it's like you could see that they were just not into it. At least I could definitely see that. I was looking at it, and they were repeating, we're excited about this game, we're excited to work with NetEase, we're excited about this, excited about that. If you need to repeat that so many damn times, and I can't see it in your face a single time, I'm sorry to tell you, you're actually not that excited. You're not. And that's what I got out of that Q&A, that they were not excited and they were actually not answering questions. I'm talking like very basic questions, like people were asking stuff about classes, people were asking stuff about items in the game, itemization. They were asking like easy questions. It wasn't even about the meme questions of people asking about crossplay or ports to PC or ports. None of that. Just like questions about actual gameplay, and they couldn't answer almost any of it, which was really sad to see. But particularly, one of the questions that really remained with me was when one of the guys went up there and he asked something about the difficulty. Like, he straight up asked, dude, are you guys going to be able to make this game challenging? Because you guys know, Diablo players, they're hardcore players. They're not casual players. Like, the Diablo fan base is literally a hardcore fan base, to the point where Diablo was one of the first games, at least one of the games that I remember seeing hardcore characters for the first time. For those of you that are not aware, hardcore characters are characters that when they die, they're gone forever. They're deleted. You can't get them back. Like, that's the kind of players that you have on Diablo. They're super hardcore about the game. They love it. They want to play it for hours on end. And Blizzard just like, oh yeah, we don't know about the difficulty because it's a mobile game. And then someone came up and said, okay, what about hardcore characters? Can we get hardcore characters, which are, again, the characters that only have one life? And Blizzard was like, well, we don't know, because with online connectivity, you could get a disconnect and you can die. Which then brought up another question, which I've seen, I believe that during that Q&A they discussed it, although I'm not 100% sure. But I also saw Pallytime's gameplay video, and he asked the Blizzard representative that was there with him about online connectivity. This is an always online game on your phone. So basically what that means is if you do not have a reliable internet connection, wherever you happen to be, there goes the whole thing, play Diablo anywhere. As a matter of fact, your Nintendo Switch is a more reliable device to play Diablo anywhere, because actually it doesn't require online connectivity to play the game. Which just blows me away. Like, what the hell? You have to be constantly online? What about data caps? What about people that don't have proper internet on their phones? Like, it's not enough that it's only on phones. You also got to be 100% of the time connected. I was just like, and then I was reminded of something else, which was in that trailer. Now, it could be just me and maybe I'm forgetting something, but I believe that was the first time that I've ever seen another company credited on a splash screen for a Blizzard game. Am I wrong on that? I actually want to know, because I honestly don't remember if that has been the case. If another company has been prominently featured in a splash screen for a Blizzard game, I don't think I've ever seen it. But anyways, they did that for NetEase, which then, as we began looking deeper into that, we found out that essentially this game, it's a skin job. A skin job. It's a reskin of another game. Another game called Endless of God, which is a game that is also developed by NetEase, which, again, I was not aware at the time, because who the fuck knows who NetEase is? I bet you 99% of the world population had no fucking clue who NetEase was until they were introduced at least 99 of the Western population, 99% of the Western population had no idea who this company was before Blizzard announced on stage that they were working with them. Like, I had no idea that NetEase were the ones that were localizing Overwatch and all these other games in China. Not a single clue. But essentially, once you start looking into it and you start looking into their games and all that stuff, you can clearly see that Endless of God, dude, it's Diablo Immortal is essentially a reskin of Endless of God. And one of the things that Blizzard has always done for all of their video games is quality. Like, it doesn't matter if some of their microtransaction practices, like we've seen, for instance, in Overwatch, or, you know, they're not great. It's not the end of the world because it doesn't really affect gameplay, but ultimately it was a disappointing progression system. Not to mention that, I mean, I say progression system, I mean, like, you know, the way that you get loot boxes in Overwatch and the way how you can basically get shit after shit after shit. That was always disappointing for me, even though I love Overwatch, right? Heroes of the Storm was another one when they straight up just like put all that stuff in there. Like, I preferred the old monetization that they had in Heroes of the Storm, where I could basically pick and choose. Hey, I want this thing. I want that thing. This whole loot box turns me off. It just straight up turns me off. But anyway, you know, even with all of that, right? Even with their microtransactions and all that stuff, Blizzard has always delivered quality, at least in my eyes. Heroes of the Storm, quality game. Probably my favorite MOBA now that Paragon is dead. Overwatch, quality game. Diablo 3, quality game. Diablo 2, quality game. Diablo 1, quality game. StarCraft, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, the expansions for all these games. Friggin' World of Warcraft, all quality games. Whether or not you like the balance of the games, you like certain aspects of them, they've always had quality. Right? And it's like, that is the Blizzard hallmark. If this game is actually being developed by NetEase, can we definitely expect the same quality that we usually get in Blizzard products? I mean, we already know that we're going to get a bunch of garbage microtransactions because that's what every mobile game does. Let's be completely honest about it. That's how mobile games work. It's just a bunch of microtransactions designed to make as much money as possible. Because, make no mistake, from a business standpoint, this is a good move. This is a good move for them because, quite simply, they're going to make a lot of money on this game. I have no doubts there. But they're basically destroying a franchise. In my eyes, they are destroying a franchise because the lore in this game is going to be canon. This is going to be canon lore. And they're going to waste it on this thing. Because every time I think about it, I'm just blown away because I know that it's going to be, you can't enjoy a Diablo game on a phone. You just can't do it. You can't immerse yourself into that world on a phone. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And that's one of the things that made me think about Mike Morhaime leaving. And I know this is like, nah, Rurikhan, there's no way. I myself said there was no way in the previous video. But I've started thinking differently. I really have. Because if you look at the timing of this whole thing, whereas like in the months leading up to BlizzCon, where Diablo Immortal is going to be announced, suddenly Mike Morhaime steps down. In the months leading up to this particular BlizzCon, he makes it a point of coming on stage to tell everybody that he's no longer the president of Blizzard. He makes it a point to come on stage to make that announcement, pass off the baton to, I forget, I'm really sorry. I don't want to be disrespectful. I haven't had a lot of sleep today. J. Allen Brack, right? That's his name. He makes it a point to pass the baton to J. Allen Brack. And after that, they announced the game. I mean, a while after that, but sure. I started reading into that almost like Mike Morhaime wants to make sure that like he has a clean record. Like, you know, he can always say, hey, while I was president, we didn't tolerate any of this shit. But again, I don't know if that's the reason right now. But I got if I put myself in Mike's shoes, right? You guys know the way that I am about the videos that I create, the way that I look at video games, and just the way that I don't always make the best decisions for my channel in terms of like, you know, getting views and all that stuff, because I always do stuff that I am passionate about. That's always the way that I do things. And if I put myself in Mike Morheime's shoes and I receive this project on my lap and someone maybe from higher up or some shareholders or whatever, and they just tell me, you gotta make this work, dude. You gotta make this mobile game work. And they give you no other alternative, no nothing. They really pressure me into doing it. The only thing that I would be left to do, I'd be like, I quit. Like, that's what I've been thinking about. Whether or not that is the case, who the hell knows, dude? Unless he comes out and says it himself, there's no way we'll ever know. But I'm just saying, if I put myself in his shoes, that'd probably be what I'd do. Now, the other thing that has been going on, as per usual, we have the gaming journalists that show up, and any controversial topic that shows up, they need to fucking bring in their little opinion in there. They need to fucking stir the pot. They need to clickbait the shit out of everybody. They need to farm that outrage out of people and get the clickbait so that they feel like they're fucking relevant somehow. And these fucking people, dude, I swear to God, it's not just the clickbait. It is their bringing their politics into video games. These fucking people, dude, I'm not even going to say their names. I'm not even going to say the names of their websites. I'm just going to tell you the types of narratives that are being spinned out there. One particular tweet that I ran into recently was this guy saying that the reason Diablo fans are so upset is because the Diablo franchise is going into a market that is mainly dominated by a female audience, namely the mobile market. So they're saying that we're male, chauvinistic, bigots, and whatever other adjectives you want to put on top of that because we don't want women in our video games. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something very, very simple so that everyone can understand. I'll even say it slowly for the cheap seats in the back, like this fucking idiot that is saying this bullshit on Twitter. I'm going to say it very slowly so that you can understand. Throughout all of the time that I've interacted with the gaming community, whether that is on my YouTube channel, whether that is on my own private time, whether that is with my friends, whether that is with people that I hate, I've never met one single gamer that does not want more women to join the gaming community. Not one. Did you get that? Not one. So that little narrative you're trying to spin there with your fucking, you got your tinfoil hat on and shit and going on like, oh man, these fucking male chauvinistic bigot gamers. Fuck you, dude. Like legitimately just fuck you. You actually think we don't want women in video games? Dude, the more the merrier. Women, men, female, male, trans, whatever. Everyone is welcome. Gaming is one of the most welcoming communities in the goddamn world, dude. You got it wrong. You really got it wrong. So why don't you take your little political opinions, shove them up your ass, and you either come here to play some games and enjoy yourself, or you can get the fuck out. Because all you're trying to do is to promote divisiveness among gamers, and you can go fuck yourself. Because we're not falling for that shit. Okay? So you're welcome to come into the community, stay here, play video games, but you're not welcome to come in here and try to stir the pot and put men against women and all that shit, because that's just not the case. Nobody's against women. Just like no women is against men playing video games, no men are against women playing video games, or against trans people playing games, or against gay people playing games, or against pansexual people playing games, okay? We don't care. We really don't care. We just want as many people as possible to share in this hobby because we love it, because we have fun, because we enjoy ourselves. Okay? Because it is a positive thing. It is something that allows us to escape the routine of our daily lives for a lot of people. You know how many people use gaming to cope with depression? Be a little bit more respectful before you bring your bullshit political stance onto the gaming arena. Thank you very much for your consideration. Then we have other websites that are basically saying that the Diablo fan base is a bunch of entitled twats. They're saying that we should basically eat shit and shut the fuck up. That's what they're saying, because essentially that's what a mobile game is to us. And you need to understand something. This could be the best mobile game in the world, and it will not be enough. And let me explain to you why. Because gamers that have PCs or that have consoles, the reason we make that investment is so that we can have a better gaming experience. This doesn't mean that we look down on people. Well, some of us probably do, but this doesn't mean that most of us actually look down on people that play video games on their phones. If that's what they want to do, that is their choice. They're free to do with their phones whatever the hell they want. I really don't care. I don't mind at all, so long as they're enjoying themselves. Who am I to say otherwise? I disagree with a lot of the monetary practices of that market, and I advise a lot of people against interacting with the monetary practices of that market because they are predatory, because they are exploitative, and because people tend to overspend. They exploit people that have natural tendencies for gambling. It is a predatory and exploitative market when it comes to mobile games. That's just the way these things are. But again, we don't care. It doesn't make any difference for us. It could be the best mobile game in the world. The problem is that we have been waiting for a new Diablo game for a long time. And for a lot of you fucking people out there, a lot of you gaming journalists out there, you just look at Diablo like, oh, it's just another trilogy of game, it's whatever. Dude, you don't understand that this literally made a whole genre. Do you know how many games exist today because of Diablo? Do you know how many industry standards were set with this particular game? It started with Diablo 1, it evolved with Diablo 2. Dude, Diablo 2 is one of the most revolutionary games of the last 20 years. 20 years? Maybe that's going too far. Like I said, I didn't sleep too much, but it is one of the most revolutionary games ever made. Like, you just don't understand. You really don't understand, because to you, it's just another game. You probably played Diablo 2. You probably never even finished the fucking game because you couldn't figure out how to work with your skills and your stats. And you're just like, oh, my character's broken. I can't figure out how to play anymore. Grr. Because that's how most of you are nowadays. You guys go into gaming journalism because you can't get into the actual journalism that you want to do. And so you just end up in gaming, and then you have to like try to get your political opinions out somehow, and you need to farm the outrage of people. You guys make me fucking sick. You really do. And the worst part is that I'm actually giving you the time of day. I'm actually spending time talking about your worthless message that you guys are putting out. That's the worst part about it. So I'm gonna shut up now because there's nothing left to say. Basically, if you think that Diablo gamers are entitled, you should try just for once to put yourself in their shoes. Because if you don't like gamers, why the fuck are you even reporting on gaming to begin with? Do you actually even like video games? Or do you just like playing random games on your phone? I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing games on your phone. But have you tried playing Diablo 2? Have you tried playing the current iteration of Diablo 3? Did you play Diablo 3 on the Nintendo Switch? See, that's a really good Diablo game right there. It's a good Diablo game. Diablo 2 is better, but Diablo 3 is still a good game. Diablo Immortal is never going to be that. And you want to know why the Switch version is so good? Switch version is so good because I can actually play it wherever I want. I can actually take it with me right now. I can go onto the middle of a field with no internet, no nothing, and I can pop that bad boy out and I can play it. You try doing that with Diablo Immortal. Not really going to work out all that well, is it? Oh man, that kind of sucks. But you know what the other part of it is? it's also that even though I can take it with me wherever I want, and I can play it wherever I want, when I bring it home, I can put it on this little dock thing that the Switch has, and I can play it on a big screen. And now this is the part where you're going to tell me, aha! I can connect my phone to the television with my HDMI adapter. And I'm like, yeah, you can. You can play it until your fucking phone melts too, because phones are not designed to withstand that kind of operating power for long periods of time. Don't believe me? Try it. Try playing that game for 5 hours in a row. See what happens to your phone. See how long that battery lasts. You're going to have to not only hook up the HDMI to your television, which is going to be draining more power from your phone than it really usually does, because you're essentially expanding your phone to a 1080p monitor, assuming it's a 1080p, because you might just have to stretch it all the way to 4K, depending on the resolution of your television and on the resolutions that are supported on your phone. And they're like, and I also can get a gamepad controller. Sure, get that too. Hook it up through Bluetooth, dude. Make your phone drain even more battery and use even more resources. Yeah. Try that. See how it works out for you. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it's going to be a fucking fantastic experience. Oh, it's that you don't have a $1,000 phone? Man. Kind of sucks how you're not going to be able to play Diablo Immortal. I've already seen a bunch of people that have expensive phones that they're saying that their phone is not compatible with Diablo Immortal because apparently the spec requirements are too high. Yeah. Didn't really think that through, did you? Anyway, you guys, that's probably going to be it. I guess the last thing that I can say about this is that apparently Blizzard stock has dropped by $5 or something of that nature. At least last time I checked. But whereas a lot of people might even celebrate this, I don't. Because there really isn't anything to celebrate. I don't want to celebrate the misery of Blizzard. I don't. Because I don't hate any one game company in particular. I want them all to do good. I really do. I still love a lot of Blizzard games, including Diablo. I love Diablo 3. It just feels really bad to see that this was their main announcement on the stage of BlizzCon. A mobile game, which, like I said, it's going to make them tons of money. But nobody can take it away that this is a slap in the face of each and every one of the fans of the Diablo franchise. That's just a fact of life. Thank you guys very much for watching. Sorry to bring you another downer of a video. I just wanted to get the rest of my views out there. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Hopefully a little bit more positive video next time. Peace out.